Building and editing websites can be extremely confusing. Maybe you've used WordPress or Webflow in it and you've really struggled in order to edit your website and make it the way you want it to look. That for me was one of the main reasons that I moved to Squarespace, because it's so easy to use and it's really easy in order to get your website from zero to beautiful and out there getting found by target customers. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the complete tutorial of editing your Squarespace website. So by the end of the video, you're not going to be lost on the Squarespace interface. You're going to know exactly what to do and you're going to be able to start making your Squarespace website look exactly how you want it to look. And by the way, I'm not a Squarespace designer, so I've had to figure this out from a non-design background. So don't worry, because if I can do it, I promise you, you will be able to use Squarespace. But without further ado, we're going to get into it and I'm going to show you how to edit your Squarespace website using my Squarespace website. So this is a live Squarespace website, so you can edit your website when it's live. Don't worry, it's not you push it live and you can't edit it. It is really easy to do. And just to begin with, I'm just going to get you familiar with the Squarespace interface. So in the middle, you're going to have the web page that you're able to edit. And then on the left hand side, you have your sort of sidebar navigation. You have website. This is where you can select through the web pages and add web pages. Then we have selling. This is where you can set up e-commerce, add any products, etc. Then we have marketing. This is where you do the marketing of your Squarespace website, whether it be SEO, email marketing, that's where you can find this. Then we have your contact. So if you have a contact form, lead generation magnet, you sell products, all of your contacts are going to go within here. Then we have Squarespace Analytics, which is super important, because if you don't know how people are finding your Squarespace website, what they're doing when they're on there, it means that you're going in blind when it actually comes to editing your Squarespace website and making it better. Then we have scheduling. So if you have a business where scheduling is important, maybe you've got a salon, hairdressers, maybe you're a personal trainer, scheduling is going to be really helpful. And then right at the bottom, we've got asset library, which is where you can manage all the images you add. Then finally settings, help, and then your profile. So this is the main navigation that you're going to spend a lot of your time in. Now, by the time I record this video, Squarespace may have actually changed the navigation. It does sometimes do this. However, don't worry at all, because if you can't find something, if you're lost, something that I often do is just go up to the search bar here and you're going to be able to search anything, or even from anywhere, you can just press the / key and you're going to be able to get search. If you can't find anything, for example, let's say you want to change the SEO, you can type in SEO and it's going to give you your SEO settings here, as well as the ability to search on Squarespace help, Squarespace's forum, in order to get the answer to your question. So now you've got a bit of an overview. Before I take you to website and show you how to edit your Squarespace website, I just want to take you through to settings here. And this is super important, because this is often where, if you want to change something more technical, if you want to change how your Squarespace website looks on Google, whether it's changing your domain, changing your language, changing how it looks when you share it on social media, heck, even making it public on the internet, this is where you're going to be able to do it. So it's super important. Also where you can access Squarespace extensions, also then get into marketing from here, much more. So make sure you go through and familiarize yourself with the settings. It has recently changed, so there is a chance that by the time that you look at it, it has changed again, but that's where you can find a lot of things. But now we've done that, I'm just going to take you to websites. And in here, this is where you can see all the pages on your Squarespace website. So as you can see here, I've got quite a lot of pages on my site. You have your main navigation, which is just all the pages that you've added to be featured in the main navigation here. If you then scroll down, you've got not linked. So this is essentially all the pages that aren't linked in the main navigation. So sort of on an overview, it is pretty easy to get a handle on this. If you want to add something to your main navigation, all you need to do is press plus, and you can add collections, you can add individual pages, you can either add a member site, courses, videos. So there's lots of different options, and it is literally as easy as just, hide if you want to, add in the main navigation. Okay, I want to add a new page, I can click blank page, new page, and then go from there. So it is really easy. I can then give it a name and essentially go from there. But I'm just going to delete that for now, because we'll get to that a little bit later. And of course, if you wanted to add a page that isn't linked to the main navigation bar, so let's say, for example, you want to create a terms and conditions, as you've seen here, I can just go on, scroll to the top, add a page, or maybe you want to add a layout, which is something that I'll get into later. You can all do it from there. I've just walked you through how to actually use this page section. Now I'm going to take you through how to edit your Squarespace website, and in this particular case, how to edit a web page. And in this case, I am going to be focusing on my home page, and this tutorial is specific for Squarespace 7.1 and Fluid Engine. So if you're looking to edit your Squarespace 7.0 website, I recommend potentially looking at another tutorial on YouTube, because this is specifically focused on Squarespace 7.1 and in particular Fluid Engine, which is Squarespace's drag and drop editor. Now, to try and make things really simple, when you're actually editing a Squarespace web page, there's 4 main areas that I want you to know. First of all, Squarespace web pages are made up of sections. As you can see here, there's different sections on your Squarespace website, which is very, very easy to go in and then just press add sections. There's a number of different templates that you can use, and these are essentially sections on your Squarespace web page, which you then put blocks in. And blocks is the second thing that I want to draw your attention to. So when you hover over any section, you can then add in a block. And because we're on Fluid Engine, which is Squarespace's drag and drop editor, as you can see here, when we go ahead and add a block, so let's say, for example, I want to add a button, I can just press button here, drag and drop where I want it to be, edit it if I really need to, and essentially go from there, or even double click in order to button. So as you can see, it's very easy to go ahead and add sections. Of course, you can use the templates available for, the different types of things that you may want to be adding on your Squarespace web page. And then within that section, you go ahead and add blocks, which are essentially just elements that go within sections, such as titles, buttons, images, embedded YouTube videos, maybe some design elements, etc., as you can see here. So all in all, that is pretty simple. However, there's 2 final things that I would like to go through. The first of all is this section here, which is the ability to edit your section. This is how you're going to change the format. So it's essentially how you can make it easier to design your Squarespace web page. You can make it fit screen. You can add dividers to this. You can then also change the background. So let's say, for example, you want your background to be an image, a video, art. You can change it from here, and then also change the colors that fit within this section if you really want to. So just to recap, we have sections, we have the ability to add blocks, and then we've got the ability to add the sections. And what I really like, we've even got this function where we can save a section. So if we've got a section that we want to repeat and add across other areas of our Squarespace website, we can just go to save sections here and then see all the sections that we've got saved, to make it super easy to edit our Squarespace website and ultimately make designing much faster. Fourth and finally, the last thing that I want to take you through on the actual web page editor is this section up here. This is where you're going to be able to change things between mobile views so that you can ultimately design your Squarespace web page for mobile and make it mobile friendly. And it's also how you can change your site styles. And this is going to be really important when it comes to making your Squarespace website look beautiful. Now, I'll be completely honest, this isn't something that I excel in. As I mentioned, I'm not a Squarespace website designer, but it's from here where you can change all of your fonts, colors, animations, spacing, buttons, forms, image blocks, etc. And there's even a guide that should be linked down here in order to teach you more about making style changes, because unfortunately I'm not the best qualified for that. So I'd recommend going ahead and reading that. The only other thing that I'm going to just draw your attention to before we go into page settings is actually this section up here, the edit site header. This is where you can actually add elements to your site header, as you can see here, and even where you can edit the design of your site header. So if you want to change anything up here, feel free to go ahead and do so. But all I'm going to do is press exit. I'm going to discard my changes because I don't need to, because I haven't changed anything that I want to save, and then go back to the navigation. It's as easy as that. And just to round up this video, I'm going to take you through 2 more areas of the Squarespace editor that I think is really important to know, and that is editing your page settings and then using templates in order to get a head start when editing your Squarespace website. So when you hover over any Squarespace web page, whether it's here, main pages, whether you go into your resources or your blog and you hover over here, you're either going to see settings or you're going to see these 3 dots, and that is essentially how to edit the page settings of your specific web page. From here, you can maybe add a featured image, you can edit the URL, you can head over options, add tagging categories if you're on a blog, and then really importantly for me is edit your SEO. So this is where you can actually change how you display on search engines and ultimately rank higher up on Google. So the SEO of each page is super important. There's also social images, setting up sharing, and then also a location if needed. And it works pretty similar on most of your pages. You just head over to the settings. What shows up may be a little bit different depending on whether it's a blog, etc. But as you can see, we've got general, the page title, the URL, whether you want to add a password, duplicate, and then go into SEO where you can change your SEO settings. So that is the first thing, how to actually edit the page settings on your Squarespace website. Now that I've shown you how to edit the sections on a page, how to change the colors, how to add blocks, I'm going to show you how to get a head start. And how you're going to get a head start by using one of Squarespace's pre-made templates. Now, starting a website from scratch and using a template is a whole other story. What I'm talking about now is actually being able to use Squarespace templates when you're adding pages. And what this is going to do, it's going to give you a preset number of designer layouts, as you can see here, which are already going to be based upon your colors. So as you can see here, you can see the color of this button matches the color of the button here. So when you change your site style and colors, these sections that are going to be presented to you are already going to be part styled based upon the colors on your Squarespace website. So whether you want to use a general template, whether you want to use a section for contacting with pre-built in contact forms, maybe you offer services. As you can see here, there's stunning sections and stunning templates that you can follow in order to make your Squarespace website really stand out. So when it comes to editing, of course, that's something that you can do. However, you can then also use sections to give yourself that extra head start, which for people like me who aren't necessarily designers is going to be super, super important. So there you are, guys. That is a complete tutorial of how to edit your Squarespace website. Now, there are some areas that I haven't gone into full detail of. For example, there's editing images, there's more of the stylistic things. However, hopefully what I've done in this video is give you that overview, give that complete overview of the different things that you're going to need to do, how to find things, how to quickly navigate around the Squarespace editor. And of course, if you have got any questions, feel free to add them in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel where I primarily share Squarespace SEO tips and document growing SEO space, the SEO plugin for Squarespace, but also try and share helpful Squarespace tutorials like this in order to level up your Squarespace skills. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next video.